In Footbag, a simple cloth beanbag some 5 centimeters across opens up near infinite possibilities. Players use their feet to control the bag with mind-boggling dexterity, always keeping it from touching the ground. Millions of people around the world participate in the multiple highly skilled sports the humble footbag has spawned. Some of its most popular permutations include passing the ball in a circle, as well as a net-based, high-energy competitive sport. On today's show, though, we focus on Footpath Freestyle, where players showcase their most stunning techniques in solo displays of sheer acrobatic creativity.
For centuries, cultures across the world have played games based on kicking a simple small beanbag like this one. Modern footbag was devised in the US in the 1970s and kicked off a craze that spread through schools and colleges in the decades that followed. Today, footbag is still hugely popular worldwide.
Since the 1970s, footbag has evolved from a casual hobby into an organized sport, including regular world championships. One of the world's top freestyle footbag competitors is Japanese. Ishida Taishi is 36 years old. In 2014, he took part in the World Championships, competing in the freestyle Shred 30 event, where successive complex footbag techniques must be executed in a carefully crafted 30-second routine. Ishida became the first ever Asian footbag competitor to win a gold medal at the World Championships. Enjoying continued success since, in 2018, he was inducted into the official Footbag Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much for joining us today amid the challenging conditions of the ongoing pandemic, and also for bearing with social distancing measures as we're sitting rather far apart. So what is it about freestyle footbag that drew you to the sport?
There's something like 2,000 different freestyle techniques. Each new trick can feel impossible when you start out. Progress can be gradual, but that amazing feeling when you master a new skill is what I love about the sport. Every one of the 2,000 or more techniques is graded on a scale of difficulty called the ad score.
The ad, or additional degree of difficulty, is a score designed to reflect the skills a competitor must employ for a given technique. For example, in this simple technique known as the toe stall, the footbagger stops the bag on top of their foot. It scores just 1 ad. Now let's watch the Mirage, a 2-ad skill. Here, the left leg passes around the bag, which is then caught on the right foot. Next, this 3-ad skill is known as the double leg over. This time, both legs pass around the bag before it's caught. Finally, let's watch an advanced version of that last technique. If an additional circle around the bag is added on its way up, the double leg over is now transformed into a 4-ad skill called the smog.
Simply performing a single trick like this doesn't actually mean much by itself. What really counts is how you're able to link techniques together. So let's join together the 4 tricks from just now.
So did you do it in order? 1 ad, 2 ad, 3 ad, or you just mixed it up?
I went through all 4 of them in order.
What's the key to performing such difficult tricks perfectly?
People often assume the ability to stop the ball on your foot is key. But the control needed to then launch it precisely where you wanted is also fundamentally important.
The footbag almost appears to be magically drawn into Ishida's feet. But exactly how precise is his ability to control its position? Ishida shows us just how close he can keep the bag to his body. With complete ease, he flicks the bag over his neck with barely centimeters to spare. Often the bag passes so close that it brushes his hair. For higher ad tricks, the quality of Ishida's bag control becomes even more obvious. We filmed Ishida performing the Alpine Blurry Whirl, a 5-ad skill, before talking us through it. The key to this trick is how the footbagger moves after passing the bag over their neck.
Bending your knee like this creates a triangle. The trick won't work unless the bag falls precisely into that space. Too far this way or too far that way, and it'll just bounce off your leg. It's extremely difficult.
Ishida carefully predicts the bag's trajectory to ensure it falls perfectly through the triangle. Now let's take a look at a 6-ad skill. This next one is known as the torture rack. From this start position on the right foot, the bag is first passed up on the inside of the left thigh. Then, after contacting the ground, the right leg is swung up over the top of the bag. Which is then finally caught again with legs crossed. The trick comprises 6 movements, executed in impressive quick succession. But Ishida isn't satisfied with the quality of his demonstration.
When I swing my leg around, you can see the position's rather superficial. Normally in footbag, the way you want to be circling the bag is like this. If you're up here, it's really too high. The judges would say, your leg hasn't circled it properly.
So why was Ishida's leg position too high when he performed this trick?
When the bag is on its way up, it's called up time. As it reaches peak height, that's mid time. And as it falls again, that's down time. If you time swinging your leg around the bag to coincide with mid time, then you can really get in deeper.
Ishida explains that his movement wasn't well synchronized with the mid-time. Here, his right foot contacts and launches off the ground a 1/5 of a second too slow. This results in the bag falling too low by the time he can swing his leg around it.
For this technique, the bag should ideally come slightly above waist height. You need sufficient control to bring the bag to just the right height at the right time. That's what you're after.
A falling foot bag doesn't wait for anyone. Split-second differences have a huge impact on whether or not a trick is successful. Let's now take a look at some easier foot bag techniques that anyone can try for themselves at home.
Foot bag was originally developed in part with rehabilitation from knee injury in mind. Let's try out some of the basic exercises together. Let your lower leg hang at a 90-degree angle. Next, balance the foot bag on top of your foot, on your toes. Now, from this position, you bend your supporting leg. Let's try it a few times. 1, 2, 3. Now, you can pick it up.
もうね、結構プルプル。
You'll feel it pretty quick.
Once you've mastered the first exercise, the next step is to move the leg holding the bag up and down 10 times.
To lift your leg, you have to engage your inner hip muscles, or iliopsoas, which you also use for walking. This is a great workout for that muscle group. The final exercise is the same as the one we did just now, except that you lift your whole body up and down, together with your leg. And keep repeating.
So far, Ayako seems to be doing okay.
This is the hardest of the basic exercises. You've dropped the foot bag, by the way.
I didn't realize it. When did the beanbag fall?
You need to watch so you don't drop it. That will also help improve your concentration.
The same exercise can be done while holding onto a chair for support. You can adapt the movement to suit your own fitness level. Now you've got this far, you should be ready for the toe stall.
Just now, you only moved your right leg. But let's try and bend the supporting leg at the same time, just like we did in the last exercise.
The toe stall employs exactly the same coordinated movement as in the fourth of the basic exercises. Remember to flex both knees as you drop to catch the bag.
Ooh! A miracle!
Well done!
So how many ad was that?
That was just one ad.
That's one ad only.
Yes, just one.
Ah, I'm out of breath. But what's good is it's good exercise and it's also fun. You've already won titles at previous World Championships, but I hear this year's tournament is being held remotely. I guess the ability to even hold a tournament like this is rather unique to Footbag?
That's right. Footbag doesn't require much space, and each competitor can film their own tricks individually. It's the first time we're doing things like this, but given the current situation, I think it's a good opportunity.
We took a sneak peek at Ishida's process of developing and refining new tricks and routines as he prepares for this year's online World Championships.
With only 4 disciplines contested, the lineup for the 2020 World Footbag Championships was greatly reduced compared to a typical year. For each event, competitors had to submit their best video by a specified date and time. Those making it through to the next round then had to film themselves completing more tricks. Recorded submissions for the finals were broadcast together with live commentary on August 1st.
We want to see in every player. So basically, Rafa is.
So how did you feel when you heard this year's World Championships would work through online video submissions?
For me, it's a big disadvantage. Up till now, the World Championships have always been held at a live venue in front of a crowd. And then you only have one shot at getting it right. The footbaggers from all over the world that I'm up against are exceptionally skilled. But I've noticed they can be affected by nerves in competition. While I find I can perform just as well on the day as I do in practice. So, for me, competing with video submissions takes away that edge and could make things quite tough.
Ishida is entered for all 4 of this year's World Championship events. He's especially determined to clinch the Shred 30 title, which he's already won twice before. In Shred 30, the footbagger has just 30 seconds to showcase a complex routine of difficult skills. For this event, Ishida still has some advantage. Standing just 1.61 meters tall, he doesn't have to kick the bag quite as high as taller rivals when performing certain tricks. The shorter distance traveled by the bag means more tricks can be squeezed into the allotted time.
I'm able to fit 34 tricks into the 30 seconds, while others typically only manage 30. Those extra 4 tricks have a big impact and can gain me about 30 extra points.
This year, though, entrants' ability to keep reshooting their videos till they're satisfied may outweigh any advantage Ishida previously held. In Shred 30, the ad total and the number of times the bag is contacted are used to calculate the overall score. Ishida's 34-trick routine includes 7 big 5-ad skills. If he can perform his whole routine without errors, he should score 268 points. That would actually be a score 40 points higher than when he won the competition in 2018.
I think I can manage 268 points, but others will also be improving their scores. So it's unclear whether 268 will even be enough to win the title. I haven't recorded the routine error-free yet, but I feel I can do it.
Going for an unprecedented 268 points is certainly new and challenging terrain for Ishida. During practice, he finds himself dropping the bag at the same point over and over again. The sticking point is his 19th trick, a double leg over. For this 3-ad trick, after stepping over the bag, he needs to catch it on his right foot. It's not normally a difficult trick, but coming during an intense section well into his routine, maintaining stamina is key. Ishida next has to link the double leg over into the 4-ad dim walk, quickly followed by the 5-ad blurriest. Fatigue and over-focus on the subsequent higher value tricks lead Ishida to keep stumbling at the 19th. He's yet again unable to complete a clean run for submission.
With a whole month and unlimited takes to keep trying to perfect our routines, I'm sure many competitors will feel their motivation starting to flag. That's where perseverance becomes key. I think those who succeed in this year's competition will be the ones who manage to hang in there and keep improving their videos.
With only 5 days to go till the Shred 30 submission deadline, Ishida has discovered a problem with his double leg over that he needs to address.
Watching the video, I can see that as I move to go into the trick, I actually have my center of gravity too far backward. I now realize that's what's been causing the issue. Keeping your center of gravity perfectly placed is crucial.
Ishida has discovered the key is his body position when catching the bag going into the trick. To succeed, he needs to be leaning forward, and when he fails, it's most often because his torso is too upright. If he moves into the trick with his center of gravity too far back, it simply can't work properly. After warming up, Ishida switches to his special competition bag. This one is slightly smaller than a standard bag. He only uses it for the World Championships. Can he finally get the double leg over right this time? He catches the bag cleanly on his foot. Frustratingly though, this time it's the final trick, number 34, that doesn't go to plan.
Just at the end. And there I was thinking I had a great video. That would have been the best routine I've ever put together in my whole life. I really wanted to get through to the end. I think I'm done filming for today.
Right now, this routine can score up to 258 points due to a 10-point deduction for dropping the bag on the final trick. Over the remaining 4 days till the deadline, Ishida films a marathon 200+ attempts. But a max score higher than 258 simply eludes him. After a nervous wait, the day of reckoning has come. Final results are announced through a live online broadcast. Shred 30 videos submitted by the finalists are shown. Ishida's video is up next. In the end, he receives the bronze medal. His final score of 252.12 falls well short of the top placing competitor's total of over 275.
Personally, I did really enjoy taking part in this competition. Considering the winning score was 275, It's clear I couldn't have won even if I'd fully succeeded in my planned routine. So, I'll need to come up with a new plan when I next take on the challenge.
The ever-evolving world of footbag broke new ground yet again through its debut online World Championships. With an unabashed energy and enthusiasm to innovate, the sport and its players look set for a long and bright future.
Giving footbag a go for myself, I feel I got a tiny taste of just how incredibly difficult the tricks Ishida Taishi and others perform are. I really felt Ishida's passion for his sport and his desire to keep exploring footbag's endless possibilities. I hope it won't be all too long before we can host a Footbag World Championships right here in Japan. Now it's time to wrap up with Spotlight. Please join us again next time on J-Arena.